I am joined right now by sport journalist Oladuni Bankole. Thank you so much, Oladuni, who is joining me via Zoom. Thank you for joining me on the show. Hello.
Good to be here, and happy New Year to you. Hopefully, this will be the first of many shows that we will be doing together.
Yes, Happy New Year to you, Oladuni. It's a pleasure to have you and see you in good health and looking good for the new year. All right, I just wrapped up a top 5 story. I talked a lot about the referee Nigeria having only one referee selected for the African Nations Championship. Were we expecting even more? That's the question right now. But at this time, only one. Consolation for us, Oladuni.
I mean, we can. I don't know. We can't seem to be surprised at the fact that we only have one referee representing us at CHAN. You look at the state of our league. You look at the state of the officiating in our league. There are a lot of factors that you might want to use to excuse that. But at the end of the day, I don't think CAF or I don't think other footballing bodies would look at that and want to give us that excuse. We still have to, that we have a lot of work to do. Yes, one referee is a win, regardless of how small it might be. It's a win that we still have someone representing us as a country in the officiating capacity at a competition like CHAN. But at the end of the day, is that what we want for ourselves? Is that the standard we want to set for ourselves? And it will take a lot of work. I don't even think in the bigger tournament at the AFCON, I don't think we'll get any representative. But hopefully, we can start the work now. Like we both said, it's a new year and it's a year to look back and look back and start working on the development of not just our football, but also the country itself as a whole.
All right, we'll be hopeful that 2025 we'll see more of our officials, referees there, get connected with continental duties. All right, as we step into 2025, boxing in Nigeria stands at the tip of a major transformation. Now, with the National Sport Festival on one hand, known as the Gateway Games, where it will be hosted by Ogun State, it's on the horizon. And heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, now serving as the ambassador for these prestigious games, the future of Nigerian boxing looks brighter than ever, coupled with the ambitious plan by the Boxing Promoters Association of Nigeria, BPAN, led by Omonlei Imadu. This year promises to bring exciting developments for both amateur and professional boxing. Now, from grassroots initiatives to international championships, with the question we have in our lives is, will these new ventures help Nigeria find its next world champion? That's the question we have right now, waiting for answers, hoping that we can get answers into the year. Today, we want to explore how these efforts can position Nigeria as a force in boxing world. And we can speak to no other than the president of the Boxing Promoters Association of Nigeria, Omonlei Imadu. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you. We're honored to have you on the show because we know that you've got a lot of prospects for boxing in Nigeria. And having to speak is one thing, but putting action to words is another. I have my colleague here that's in the sporting world, a sport journalist who is joining us via Zoom also, Oladuni Bankole. So right now we go into the conversation of boxing. But I would like to know, Omonlei, with 2025 promising to be a transformative year for boxing in Nigeria, you did say something. You have prospects for this country when it comes to that sport. What specific projects or initiatives are you most excited about to elevate the sport boxing or amateur boxing in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for having me on your show. Like we've seen so far, the passion for boxing development in Nigeria has been one of the driving force why we keep putting in our best. Like we said, we have a series of programs lined up for the year 2025 in the world of boxing to put back boxing on the limelight in Nigeria. And one of the most intriguing one that all Nigerians should look forward to for the development of boxing is the WBC Amateur Boxing Tournament, which has never happened in Africa before, but we were able to bring that to Nigeria, which is scheduled to take place on 6th, 7th, and 8th of February 2025. And that will be happening here live in Lagos. In the past year, we've seen the best of African pugilists, mainly Nigerians, from grassroots to allied boxing. They've been involved in the Kataku Boxing League, which has been a consistent platform where they've been showing their talent, competing consecutively, consistently on a weekly basis for a period of about 18 weeks now. The league ought to be for 22 weeks. Just 30th of December last week, that was the 18th week where there was evidence in the corridors. And we've seen tremendous improvement in the life of these young Nigerian God-given talents, whom that platform has actually improved their skills and in the development of their career and putting the boxing ecosystem back on line as we prepare for the upcoming festive games in Ogun State.
All right, you know, when it's a new year, a lot of new year resolutions we've made, plans we put pen down for going into the new year so that we can ride with them. And I know boxing will not be left out. Yes, you did mention that big event that will be happening in February. It's going to be a historic moment for Nigeria, the WBC Amateur Boxing Championship coming to Lagos. That's a big one. Never, of course, happened before. But how significant is that event, the growth of Nigerian boxing? Because that's what we focus here. How would that help Nigerian boxing, the growth of Nigerian boxing on the international stage?
Yeah, it's very, very crucial and important. You know, in the past, we've seen the best of Nigerian competing in the international standard. What we've had so far is only Olympics, which normally happens every 4 years, apart from the Commonwealth Games, the All-African Games. Now, the inauguration or the launching of the WBC Amateur Boxing Tournament, like I mentioned earlier, which is happening, is a preparation and another kind of opportunities for the young grassroots boxers that want to build their career in qualification for the first Boxing World Cup, which is slated to happen in Mexico by the end of this given year. You know, WBC Amateur is another competition that is going to be happening on a consistent basis, so that the best of most of the Nigerians who have not been able to go to the Olympic or attend Commonwealth, because there are just a bunch of them training, and there are only few that Nigeria can actually take to the Olympic. But with this WBC Amateur, which is coming in, now the best of Nigerian boxers now have multiple or greater opportunities to attend international competitions and prepare themselves for the very first Boxing World Cup that will happen in Mexico, which I believe Nigerian is going to come out victorious by virtue of our preparedness and consistent platform that the Yucatán League has brought in place for the past 2 years now.
All right, it's very easy to lure us with a lot of sweet words, but the truth is reality will always set in when it comes to supporting Nigeria. I remember the Tokyo Olympic Games. No boxer made it there because they had an issue, in-house fighting and all, and the sport minister did not have that faith in them that they could bring any medal. All right, Paris Olympic Games came last year, and we know what happened to the boxers who were on parade. One dropped because of drug, doping, and the others did not even come with something exciting. Nothing, no story exciting about. So we have to look at how we can nip this in the bud and make sure that the next appearance for boxers in Nigeria will be something to smile home about. Now the National Sport Festival comes to the fore. Anthony Joshua, that move by the Ogun State government to appoint him as the ambassador for the National Sport Festival Gateway Games is a huge win for Nigeria. And I'm sure you agree with me that it's a huge win for also boxing for the National Sport Festival. But I would like to know quickly, what impact do you think that this involvement of Anthony Joshua will have in boxing in Nigeria, both in terms of making it visible and also an inspiration for amateur boxers that will be on parade for the National Sport Festival?
Oh, definitely a great move by the government of Ogun State. You know, who else can we have as a better role model to these young Nigerians, to these young athletes, as they prepare for the upcoming National Sport Festival? You know, it couldn't have been any other better person. So when I saw the move by the governor of Ogun State, bringing down somebody like Anthony Joshua to inspire our Nigerian youth, teaming youth, is very, very encouraging, because you just have to prove to them, showing them that, well, there is life and success in consistency. You know, it's a role model. You know, we just have to give it to him. So at this given point in time, I really believe in what the governor of Ogun State has done. I believe in the presence of Anthony Joshua being appointed as the sport ambassador. It's very, very timing, and it is very, very important. I know there is a whole lot of other athletes now. They are looking forward to be like Anthony Joshua, or even better than Anthony Joshua one day at a time. So this is a welcome development, and I give kudos to the governor of Ogun State for actually making this happen at this point in time.
So in what way will you be able to harness this opportunity of having Anthony Joshua as the ambassador for the National Sport Festival? What will be done to make sure that we have a good use of his presence as the ambassador of the festival?
Thank you. Well, you said it earlier that talk is cheap. Action is what matters. Until we begin to see the results, that is when we actually know. But believe me sincerely, with what we have now, there are a lot of concerns Nigerians, like myself, people who believe, who have this passion for sport, who felt we have to change the narratives by virtue of the past result that we've been seeing. That is why we've been to work ever since at the end of the Olympic. We went into work and we've been doing this consistently. And I can assure you, come May, during that giving festival, the product, the result of the good work we have done so far in terms of boxing development is going to be evidence in the National Sport Festival, because virtually all the giving boxers, all the giving boxers that we're going to be participating in the sports festival for various states, at one point or the other, are already in the Yucateco Boxing League, the ongoing boxing league. So we have all those people in the boxing league representing each of the states in the festival. So the effect of the agricultural training consistent platform that we've created and how much they are prepared is going to be evident. And I know Anthony Joshua will be wowed. What he's going to see in the boxing ecosystem, the boxing participation, as far as this National Sport Festival is coming, is going to be second to none of what he has ever seen in terms of Nigerian pugilists, how developed and committed they are in this given time. So automatically, I knew with him, I definitely know with what is on ground, Anthony Joshua is going to be impressed and he will be willing to do more to keep the system going, to support the system, to support the platform, to make sure Nigeria is definitely going to be victorious in any international competition.
All right, I would like to repeat that for a third time, that talk is indeed cheap. We want to see words put to action. Of course, we'll be waiting. But how optimistic are you, before I let you go, how optimistic are you about that games happening in May this year?
Wow. Very, very optimistic. Honestly, I can't even wait. You know, you can just imagine. I ought to have been out of the country since December, but I had to post it because I thought the festival was going to be happening.
You're very confident that there will not be another announcement of postponement. This was a game that was supposed to happen in January.
I'm very, very sure it's going to happen. Ogun State is ready, Nigerian is ready, and all the athletes are ready.
All right, I take your word to the bank. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We have been speaking to the president of the Boxing Promoters Association of Nigeria, Omonlei Imadu. Thank you so much for joining us on In the Game today, sir. I'm going to be holding you by your words, hoping that we get to see all that you've promised for the world of boxing in Nigeria at the National Sport Festival first. When I see those good deeds that have been done, I would now be hopeful that come Los Angeles 2028, we should have medalists in boxing for Nigeria. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, that's conversation about prospects for the world of boxing in Nigeria. It has been a sport that has been on a decline for a long time. Oladuni, we've heard the promises, we've heard the plans that have been put in place. A league is already just wrapped up for the year, last year. Of course, that league there brought in, we saw a lot of boxers coming from that boxing league that was created by the boxing promoter, the president of the Boxing Promoters Association of Nigeria. Now, with all being said, you think we should still give them a glimpse of hope a bit?
We've had years of anticipation for boxing. We've had years of looking forward to how things could be done better, especially for a sport like boxing, where there are several opportunities for you to develop athletes. There are several opportunities for you to develop boxers. There are several openings, for boxers to.
So you're not buying what the president of BPAN said? Is that what you're saying?
like you said repeatedly, yeah, talk is cheap. We can come here, we can analyze, we can come up with spreadsheets and talk about data and all of that. But at the end of the day, you have to be practical. You have to put in the work. And if you have not shown the precedence of putting in the work, how exactly am I supposed to trust you? We've seen like you talk about Tokyo, you talk about Paris. The sport itself, boxing, like I said, is filled with several opportunities. Amateur boxing, heavyweights, lighter weights, featherweights. These are several opportunities for several athletes, to get into. But it's a shame the way we've taken the development of the sports in this country. But it has several things that affected it. Politics, in-house politics, especially in the federation. You look at some of the grassroots boxing competition. It has been organized by private by the private sector. The biggest boxing nights that we have in this country is being organized from someone from the private sector.
Yeah.
So you look at all of that, and it's a shame actually, because you look at the country, you look at how we are built, you look at how many athletes, the passion we have for boxing, how we can be harnessed into making Nigeria one of the biggest African countries, even one of the biggest countries in the world when it comes to the sport. But like so many other things, so many potential, but limited to zero outcome.
All right, we're hoping that 2025 will look better. I'm hopeful 2025, but I'm hoping it's not going to be a broken record, because we've been saying this for a very long time. Oladuni, you will agree with me. But let's look at prospects. Look ahead, have the hope, know that things will be fine. Let's go to badminton right now. The Badminton Federation of Nigeria, they say they will organize a national badminton tournament. Away from other sports, I think badminton gave us something to gloat about. And remember the historic moment from Eniola Badmus. Yes, she was the bronze medalist at the Paralympic Games. So no other African or Nigerian has been able to get a medal at the Paralympic Games or even any Olympic Games. But she was able to do that. Eniola Miriam, that's her name. You should note that she was really, really wonderful there. So we could see that the 2025 competition by the Badminton Federation, they're trying to enhance opportunities for Nigerian players. President of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, Francis Irby, he revealed that this tournament, they will help athletes sharpen their skills and prepare for international competition, also trying to foster a stronger badminton community in Nigeria. Irby also celebrated the achievements of Nigerian para-badminton star Eniola Bolaji. Did I call her Badmont earlier? I beg your pardon. I think I have been able to juxtapose that with the Nigerian actress. Eniola Bolaji Miriam, that's her name. Thank you so much. So she won bronze medal, as I did mention earlier, at the Paralympic Games. He praised her success as a milestone for both Nigeria and Africa. Now, looking ahead, Irby emphasized that the Badminton Federation of Nigeria's goal is to qualify more players for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, with the planned tournaments playing a key role in the efforts to keep them sharp, to keep them in that competitive mood. So we'll be looking forward, and also look forward to bringing the president of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, Francis Irby, also to tell us what prospect he's got for the sport going into this year. These are what we hear, we read theoretically. We are hoping to see that in practice. For badminton, I've got this, this confidence that they would really put words to action. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about something that's buzzing in Ghana football. It's all about Asamoah Gyan. So don't go anywhere, and the game continues. And of course, looking at the fact that in Ghana, there's something buzzing on social media. Instagram is where it all started from. In a revealing Instagram live session, former Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan, he has opened up about that emotional aftermath of his penalty miss during Ghana's 2010 World Cup quarterfinal match. For those who feel like, again, 2010 again, yes, Ghanaian football enthusiasts do not want to leave Asamoah Gyan alone with that 2010 World Cup. But would say now 15 years by my counting after the event happened, it haunted both Gyan and the nation. The 39-year-old all-time leading scorer has expressed his frustration with his teammate. Now he's blaming his teammate. He gave them their size at that Instagram live session. He claimed that they abandoned him during one of the most challenging moments of his career. Despite scoring in the subsequent penalty shootout, Gian's admission highlights deep-seated feelings of betrayal and isolation. Let's listen to that Instagram live conversation, the post he had, the whole rant he had. And when we come back, we should be reacting to all that has been said.
In my time as the captain in the national team, I was alone. I only deliver on the field. I was alone. Say, captain, have to name on me. Because of brainwash, people didn't respect me as a captain. Because there were people brainwashing these kids for them to be respected. I feel them be free, hollow. You see? And those in Kuala you brainwash they regret till now. And Kuala you brainwash you, I won't mention names, but how they got out from the national team.
A tearful Asamoah Gyan there, not a good one. I became a bit emotional there. This is one man letting out his frustration. 15 years, still carrying that burden there. It's too much a burden to carry. And look at him over there, letting out every single thing, making an outburst in that Instagram post. How do we make sense of that outburst? And what does it say about the pressures of international football team dynamics? A lot of these footballers carry a lot when they, miss chances or even don't deliver what they promise. Mental health in sport should be considered, should be one thing that should be brought to the fore too. Now, joining us to unpack this emotional revelation and outburst by the Ghanaian legend will be a sport journalist, a sport writer and analyst with face2faceafrica.com. We've got Prosper Kuzo. Thank you so much, Prosper, for joining us on the show. Hello, Prosper. Can you hear me? All right, we would reconnect with Prosper, but I still have Oladuni Bankole with me via Zoom. Oladuni, you heard that outburst. Yes, I know that you cannot tell me the feeling, but I know what a lot are saying on social media after that Instagram live by the Ghanaian legend. What do you think? Because this is something that we need to really talk about now. The mental health of footballers during when they are playing their playing career and also when they wrap up, international football. What do you make of that outburst by Asamoah?
Well, it's football is a game that is built off emotion. It's a game that's built off pressure, especially when you look at the FIFA World Cup. I mean, we also had our own fair share of worsening the mental health of one of our players in Yakubu Imadu in that particular tournament. His miss against South Korea is something that I'm sure a lot of Nigerians have taunted him about.
For 15 years after.
One of our best.
It's 15 years already.
One of our best strikers. But for a player to miss the penalty that could have taken his team to the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup is something that it's something that is borderline unimaginable. You look at how he must have felt after missing that penalty. At the end of the day, these footballers are human beings. Yeah? And like every other human being, they can make a mistake. They can do a bad job at their work. I really don't understand how people are failing to move on. It's still a game. Yes, we might get carried away by the whole feeling, but at the end of the day, it's just a game. Yeah, it is not something to try to tear down your fellow man about. It's not something for you to insult your fellow man about. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy when Ghanaians are not happy, but this is a stretch. This is a bit too much. Arsenal again, the man who has done a lot for African football, the man who has done a lot for Ghanaian football. He's the man who has always been there, who has devoted most of his career to Ghanaian football, and for him to be repaid this way is absolutely ridiculous. I think Ghanaian football fans can be better, and African football fans can also do better together. I think generally football fans should understand that players are human beings, players are susceptible
Indeed, they are. We're waiting for network. Network not allowing us here for the show. But of course, it will go on. We'll wait to reconnect with Prosper Kuzo. We really need to feel the pause of what's really happening, making sense of the reactions that has come up after that Instagram live by the Ghanaian legend. This is after he announced his retirement from the Ghana Black Stars. Now, but this brings to the front burner the pressures footballers, they are always under when they carry the national team to competitions. So it's big pressure for them. It's a big load on them. And for one man who missed just one opportunity sometime in 2010, 15 years, he's still teary about it. That means it's really even hurting. It's killing him more than even you who felt, and you didn't feel good because he did not come up with that, he didn't convert that penalty, he missed that. This is one man still carrying a burden with him, 15 years. I would really want to know what the reaction after this live, Instagram live by Asamoah Gyan. Remember that he also now is blaming and slamming his teammates that they also never stood by him. They never spoke for him. They never criticized people who were, putting him on the fire. They also joined those mockers. They joined those criticizing him for not converting that chance. He did say here that anyone would have taken that penalty. It shouldn't have been me. And anyone would have missed it too. I do agree with him because football, a game where you lose some, you win some, days where you get your off season. If Manchester City were told that they would have 13 games so bad like that, they would not believe it. But at this time, you can see it's the game of football. But this man is still carrying that 15 years burden. I feel so much emotional here after he made that live yesterday on Instagram. He has been blaming his teammates, calling out some of them, telling them that he had issues with, of course, especially Dede Ayew. So we have Oladuni Bankole back right now. Thank you for reconnecting. I've been talking about how emotional this development is to me because one man was just crucified, just like Jesus, after the team had to exit the 2010 World Cup at the quarterfinal stage. Oladuni, yes, mental health for players, yes, you've been able to happen that. But at this time, he talked about his teammates, that they never stood by him. They joined the mockers, they joined the critics to come at him even after that miss from the penalty spot.
Yeah, and it's actually quite ridiculous also because you look at after the penalty miss and the game still went on to a penalty shootout, and that was how they lost the game. It was not just down to him missing a penalty; it was down to his other teammates not also converting their chances at the penalty shootout. So when they blame Asamoah Gyan, I find it quite ridiculous. I think
You can go ahead. We can hear you, please. All right, I think that's a final one from Oladuni Bankole. I'm waiting to get Prosper Kuzo join us. Of course, I really want to know what the atmosphere is like, what Ghanaians are saying after that Easter live. Remember, I know that it's already buzzing. Instagram on fire in Ghana. Trends about Asamoah Gyan and his outbursts there, having to slam his teammates for not speaking for him or staying by his side after he missed that penalty. All right, we would continue with the show. Let's go to Ghana. I'm hoping that we can have Prosper Kuzo join us. Oladuni, welcome back. Well, let's tell our viewers the fixtures we've got for the world of football. I will begin with Ghana. We've got Hearts of Oak and Legon Cities. They'll be up today in their fixture for the Ghana Premier League. The CAF Champions League Group C fixture would see Sierra Belouizdad from Algeria take on Egypt's Al Ahly. Via the Egypt Cup, we saw games yesterday. Petrojets in a goalless draw against Al Makaloun ended in penalty, and Al Makaloun were able to go to the next round of the competition. While ZFC easily went past Dairot there. Today, MP will take on Al Adud, while Agaish will see Al Olympi. Not forgetting Guna against Olympique de Guna, and also Fako FC would have to be at home today to welcome their visitors. Away from here, Oladuni, we've been wondering what's happening to Gift Urban with all that happened in the world of football and his career so far in the world of football. But finally, we can heave a sigh of relief. Gift Urban has signed a long-term contract with Bundesliga club TSG Hoffenheim. Now, of course, the 22-year-old, he joins from Olympique Lyon from France, where he scored 5 goals in 21 matches. Urban previously excelled at KF Genk, netting 32 goals in 52 appearances across multiple competitions. His strong performance earned him recognition as one of the top young talents in Norway after he successfully had that stint in football, where he scored 16 goals in 22 games. Now, of course, at this time, he has joined a new club. So, 2025, I'm hoping that it looks so good for Gift Urban. Oladuni, what do you think? Because he was invited to the Super Eagles, but never, ever kicked a ball wearing the green-white jersey. At this time, Bundesliga, will he strive?
Before Ban and his career so far, there's obviously talent there. I think the move to Olympique Lyon was it didn't go as planned. Even though at that time I believe that it was right move. A young player moving to a club like Olympique Lyon that has shown its edge to develop young talents. And I still think he has time. And for a club like Hoffenheim, a club who, one of the traditional names in the German Bundesliga, I think this is another opportunity for him to re-establish himself as one of the best young strikers, not just in Germany, but also for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The competition is stiff when it comes to strikers, and if he goes on to perform at the level at which I know he can, he's the perfect profile, to supplement or complement Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface. He can play on the flanks.
That's if he settles his
through the middle.
If he settles his eligibility status, he has to settle that eligibility status to be able to play for Nigeria. Remember, we still have that on hold. But at this time, we want to see him. He's a goal poacher. So when he's not scoring goals, he seems to be underperforming. But we want to see him score more goals. Do you think the Bundesliga will be somewhere that he can, fly free like a bird?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at how the Bundesliga is shaped. You look at how most of the teams defend in the Bundesliga with their eye line, and a player like Gift Urban with immense pace. He loves walking through the last line of defense, going through the shoulders of the defenders, and with that, I think we have enough opportunity to score goals. And like every other striker, you work better when you're confident. We're seeing it with Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal. We've seen it several times. When you're confident as a striker, there's always a higher tendency for you to score goals, and hopefully he regains that confidence at Hoffenheim, and like most of the strikers we have right now, he also goes on to perform very well, and hopefully we'll be seeing him soon with Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right, we wish him all the best. Good decision for 2025. In La Liga, we've got one fixture today. Valencia will be up against Real Madrid. While the Copa del Rey is the round of 32 fixture. Granada up against Getafe. We've got Mallorca. They will be away from home today, and Rayo Vallecano will be up against their own rival Racing de Ferrol. All right, moving away from that, the Italy Super Cup, Inter against Atalanta. So it was a second half double from Denzel Dumfries. He earned that Inter Milan 2-0 win over Atalanta in Riyadh on Thursday. Oladini, did you watch that match? It wasn't a great encounter, but at the end of the day, Inter had the upper hand. Where did Atalanta miss this one?
So the perception among the Super Cup and currently going down to Saudi Arabia and Italy is basically a Mickey Mouse competition, and I think that is exactly what Atalanta took the game as. I don't think they came out with the intention to enforce themselves into the game. Although it would have been nice for them to go on to win the Super Cup, but I think their priority right now is the Europa League and also the Italian Serie A. I remember they're one of the contenders to win the championship itself, and a couple of their players are missing. Skamaka is out, although he'll be back this year, but Scalvini, one of the best young defenders, also Tegui, also seems to be out of it. So I think Gasparini is just trying to manage his players, manage the workload on his players, and I don't think a lot of people are taking the Super Cup, especially now that it's been played in Saudi Arabia. It has been going on in Saudi Arabia for a couple of years now. But the perception of the competition is more like a Mickey Mouse competition. Yeah, if you go on to win, it's fine. But if you do not, it's not the end of the world.
All right, but the Inter will have to face up with today's winner, and we've got Juventus and AC Milan up today. So whoever we get the win today will face Inter in the final of this Super Cup. Who do you think will have the higher advantage?
If there's ever a fixture where two teams can lose, I think this would be it. You look at Juventus in recent weeks. They've found it difficult to score goals. They have a Mota, young manager coming from Bologna. I'm trying to take them away from the era of Allegri, where fans were clamoring for better football, but it seems like nothing has changed much. And Vlahovic has struggled to find the back of the net. They brought in a couple more players in midfield. Koop Miners came in from Atalanta and has also struggled to settle down. Douglas Luiz looks like one of the flop of the seasons in Italian football. Also for AC Milan, who recently sacked their manager, Paulo Fonseca, bringing in former Porto Sergio Conceição. I think it's a game where it can be tricky. You look at both teams. AC Milan have shown that they can score goals. Juventus have shown that they can't, but they can also keep teams away from scoring goals. So I think it looks like I said, a game where both teams can lose. But hopefully, the Milan fan in me would want Milan to win. But I will wait to think Juventus to take this.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Thank you so much, Oladuni Bankole, sport journalist from Lagos, Nigeria, for joining us on the show today. We appreciate your insights on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. And once again, Happy New Year.
Yes, of course. Happy New Year to you. It's been great conversation on the show. Internet not giving us that friendly look, but of course, you keep a tab on In the Game, Game On at 9 p.m. West African time. We should make sense of that outburst by Asamoah Gyan. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. Thank you so much for being there.